Be quiet.
I'm just going to give this a few minutes, and I'm going to see if there are a few people that come on. I got a little bit to say, just a little bit to talk about. So I'm going to give it a few minutes and let people come on. What I will say before I get started is comment or like. Just let me know that you can actually hear what I'm saying. So comment or like if you can actually hear what I'm saying. But I'm going to give it a few minutes, let people come on. And ultimately, what I am going to say before I get started is real simple, and that is I don't know if I'm going to get censored. It's kind of inevitable. So what I want to say beforehand is where you can find me when and if it does happen. That is either the two platforms that I'm on predominantly outside of the three main ones. People have traditionally been on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on those. My handle is the same as Drew-Montez Clark. My daughter's praying, so let me pause for 10 seconds. All right, so ultimately, we have Drew-Montez Clark is my handle across all social media platforms. The two platforms that I will be on.
Hold it and eat it, sweetie. Oh, what the heck? Kayla. Mommy, what happened? I don't know what's going on with the phone. Are you guys eating? Okay. You're all right. You're a great baby. You took a nap and you're ready to eat. I get it. Here. Get ready. Water. So she just put my bag. She just put everything. Two bags up there. Just your sandwiches and stuff.
Let me disconnect. All right, so I disconnected my Bluetooth. So just comment, let me know that you can hear me. All right, comment, let me know you can hear me. I disconnected my Bluetooth. All right, perfect. So I'm going to start over because I don't know what you did hear or what you didn't hear. But what I was saying is I don't know what may happen, but I want to let you all know how you can find me. If I'm not on social media, on the three main social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's Drew-Montez Clark is my username or my handle across all platforms. The two platforms I will be on if and when I'm not here is Cloud Hub and Choice Social. That's Clout Hub and Choice Social. So if you don't see me here, don't think I've disappeared and fallen off the face of the earth. Just understand that now, in today's time, if you want information, we have to go seek it. If you want to hear what I have to say, you got to come find me because I'm going to be talking, and a lot of people don't like what I have to say. A lot of people don't like to hear the things that I like to talk about. But I think we move forward in this country based on two things. Based on objective conversation that's rooted in mutual respect. But that means nothing's off limits. We've gone through this country at this particular point, and we've taught people that it's taboo, and you don't talk about a couple things, one of which is race, the other is politics, and it's religion. Those are the three things you've been conditioned not to talk about, and those are the three things that are plaguing our country right now and allowing people to attack our freedom. So, again, Cloud Hub, Choice Social is where you can find me if I'm not on here. Now, what I wanted to talk to you all about briefly is today I kind of got pushed over the edge. What you'll see at the bottom of this thing is a doctor in front of my name. If you have questions, you can always know where to find me, first off, but there's a doctor in front of that name. And what I don't like that I see happening quite a bit are there are people that are confusing. You've seen me post this in the past, confusing political science with medical science. And we have a lot of flipping politicians who are pandering political science and pretending like it's medical science. We have a lot of people that are giving medical advice that are getting in between actual doctors and physicians that people have chosen to represent them and to get information from. And now we see elected officials legislating in medical decisions. I have a problem with that. The one thing I'm talking about right now is I had someone come in today, and I had them come in and they told me, Doc, I just decided to get the shot for the first time. And I'm like, okay, I advocate for liberty, which means I advocate for everyone's ability to choose what they want to do with regard to this COVID. You want the shot, you go get it. If you don't want the shot, you don't have to get it. It's your choice. That's what I advocate for, and that's what we all should be advocating for. It's liberty, because the decision should be between that person and their trusted medical physician, whoever they've decided that they want to give them advice about this situation is who the only two people that should be involved in that decision-making process. So my first response to that person was, my first question was this. It was, okay, so what prompted you right now to get that shot? Because, we're a year into this thing at this point, so why now? And the answer that I received was because I have to travel. So therefore, I had to get the shot. I have to travel, so therefore I had to get the shot. See, I have a problem with that. So the only thing that I said at that particular point is this. I said, make sure that the decisions that you are making, you're not being made because you're being coerced or forced into doing something that you don't feel is the best decision for your health and your family. So there's one thing that is going to traverse through. There's one thing that you're going to carry with you, and that's your health. And the only person that's responsible for your health is yourself. No one else is responsible for it. No one else is going to come to your rescue if your decision is not good or doesn't have a good outcome. No one's going to answer for that. No one's going to advocate more for you than you are for yourself. So my statement is make darn sure that the decisions that you make surrounding your health are not being made because you're being coerced or someone is forcing you or backing you into a corner. Because our health is the one thing that we can't get back. We can't exchange it out. And once it's gone, it's hard to recover. So I'm sick and tired of these people backing people into a corner. And then I'm sick and tired of people not standing for what they believe in. And listen to what I'm saying very carefully, because I'm not telling you what you have to believe. What I'm telling you is that you need to figure out what it is that you believe, and then you need to not be afraid to stand on that belief. Stand on it. If you believe it, stand on it, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Because I'm tired of seeing people back in the corner, and I'm also tired of seeing these elected officials who are sitting back playing politics as usual. Oh, we have time. Oh, we're going to go through and take the normal course of action, which is going to take 6 months for us to work this thing out. We're going to wait a year to fight this thing in court. But here's the thing. I've been without. I've come from nothing. So therefore, I appreciate the opportunity that I have right now. And I also recognize that there's other people that have that opportunity that don't want it stripped. So in the meantime, while we're playing politics as usual, people are losing their jobs. While we're playing politics as usual, people are feeling coerced and forced into decisions that they don't want to make. While we're playing politics as usual, we have Border Patrol agents who are losing their jobs. We have police officers who are losing their jobs. We have first responders who are losing their jobs. We have medical professionals who are losing their jobs, which is preposterous to me. And you've heard me say this before. Last year, before we knew anything about this thing, we had medical professionals on the front line fighting something we had no information about. They were good enough to risk their lives to fight for something they didn't know anything about to save other people's lives. And now they're not good enough to make a decision about their own health with regard to the same thing that we asked them to fight for on the front lines before we had any idea what it was. It's absolutely preposterous. So again, if there's one thing that you're going to recognize about being, there's going to be a lot that you're going to recognize. But you will not be able to question whether or not I stand for medical freedom, and I do. That means we need objective information. That's what the government and everybody else should be at the forefront right now, is trying to provide unbiased, objective information to the American people so that the American people can make informed decisions. If they need help making those informed decisions, they go to their trusted healthcare provider, the one that they chose, not the one that you chose for us, Fauci. No one dubbed you medical profession above all. And you have an endless voice that no one can challenge. If you do, you're censored. So that's where that decision should be made. And I need to see people stand up for what they believe in. If you believe in the shot, believe in the shot. But all of us in America should believe in liberty. And liberty means that we should all recognize and fight for everyone's right to choose what goes into their body. And we should not be restricting people's ability to eat, to travel, and to do all these other different things because we feel like we have the best answer. Especially when the data is very questionable at best as to what you're trying to sell the American people. I need people to stand. I don't know about you, but I am tired of the political pandering. I am tired of seeing grifters who are trying to pretend as if they're not, or their solution is not all about them. I'm tired of that. I'm done with that. I hope you all are too. And if you are, then you're going to stand. The next thing I'll say is if I get elected, it's because the people support what I'm saying and they recognize what I'm saying to be true. If I have to become anybody else than who I am, then this is not for me. But I'm standing before the American people. I'm standing before you all right now because I am willing to put and risk everything that I've built at this particular point, everything that my family has built at this particular point. And quite frankly, my family is on the front lines with me because we recognize that liberty in America, the opportunity that we all have when we wake up an American, is worth fighting for. And we're going to fight for it. And if you want to fight alongside, I welcome you to the fold. But at some point, we have to figure out what we're willing to sacrifice and what we're willing to risk to ensure that liberty remains for the next generation. I just looked, there was an article that I read the other day that in New York, they're considering legislation right now that would allow them to remove people from society that they deem to be a risk to the public. And it had the words indefinitely in that bill. How in the world is that even something that is being considered in this country? I don't care what state it is. It still falls under the banner of the American flag in America. That should not be something that we're considering at this point, yet it is. And all we want to do is play politics as usual. We want to dismiss things and make excuses for things and say, oh, it's not that bad. Somebody else is going to fix it. Well, at this particular point, the last 11 months in this country should have shown us something. It should have shown us that freedom and liberty in America is very powerful. It allows anybody who's willing to put in the work to be and become whoever it is they want to be. But it also should have shown us that liberty and freedom in America is fragile. It is fragile if it doesn't have people that are willing to stand and risk something to ensure that it remains. That's what we should have learned. And if we've learned that, then we have to act accordingly. We have to be different. I, for one, am tired of being silent. I, for one, am tired, and I just made this statement, of seeing people try to play politics as usual. It's not going to work this time. Our country is being threatened. Our freedom is being threatened. Our Constitution is being trampled on. We need patriots to come forward. We need people of faith to wake up, stand on the front line, stand for something or fall for anything. It's an old expression, but it's so true. Truer today than it probably ever has been, at least for me. So again, I didn't want to come on here too long, but I hope that people can be inspired to just stand on what you believe on. It's not going to be comfortable, but were our forefathers comfortable when they waged an unwinnable war to give us the opportunity to experience the dream that they had, that they waged a war based on principle? Did they sacrifice anything greater than what we need to sacrifice now to make sure that the next generation has an opportunity at that freedom? I don't think so. But if that's true, then each one of us has to dig down deep and figure out what it is that we're willing to risk, what it is that we're willing to sacrifice, because comfort can't be at the forefront at this point. Do you think the people who stand in the military on our behalf and fight for freedom abroad, do you think they go over there thinking and trying to figure out what situations they're going to go in that are going to make them the most comfortable? Do you think our first responders here in the U.S., do you think our police officers walk and charge into a scene thinking about how they're going to proceed based on comfort? Or what about a firefighter? There's a building on fire, there's people trapped inside. Do you think they're trying to figure out how they can remain the most comfortable as they go save that person's life? No. And I'm telling you right now, the fight for freedom and the fight for liberty is not about comfort. It's about principle. And the question is, do you have any, number one? And if you do, are you willing to stand for them? Are you willing to be uncomfortable for them? Do you want your kids to experience that same thing? And we can go across the board as to how this stuff is being infringed upon right now. But this all started based on medical freedom. So if anyone I hear anybody say that I don't know whether Drew stands for medical freedom, I'll tell them that they're not looking hard enough. Because what I believe, I speak. What I believe, I live. And if you have a question, you know where to find me. You can come to my social media pages. You can send me an email, info@Drew-Montez-Clark.com. You can find me at Seed the Table. We do a live podcast every Tuesday and have been for the last year and a half. I am not hiding, nor will I hide. So if you have a question, you can come to me. If you're going to listen to a gossip behind the scenes in the dark, then that's your problem. If you're going to say you don't understand where I stand on these policy positions, yet you haven't taken the time to seek it out, I'm not the problem. You are. Now, I'm here to fight for this country, and I'm asking for your support because we need patriots standing who are willing to speak, are articulate enough to speak these points, that will not bow, that will not kneel, and aren't in this just for political pandering, but they're in it because they believe in what this country stands for. They're in it because they understand we have to keep God at the center of this country, and then we have to stand for the Constitution, because those two things are what created the greatest country on the face of this planet. And if we want that to continue, then we need to act, and we need to act now. So I'm done. I've been on here too long already. Feel free to comment below this video, share it, and if you support me, show me you support me. By word, by action, by deed, by finances, just act. Do something. Have a great night. I'm going to spend some more time with the family. Peace.